Hey, what's up? I'm Tommy Lee. Yeah, that guy.
He's loud, he's funny, he's got a lot of energy.
I fucking love watching Tommy Lee play drums.
Just fucking crazy is what he is. He's fucking nuts.
Oh, shit! It looks like the fucking roller coaster's broken. Did we break the shit?
Nobody overthought anything. Everybody just played.
The first time we actually made the drums go upside down, everything changes.
He doesn't get enough recognition. He's an important part of the sound of that band.
Tommy Lee is known as one of the wildest drummers out there on and off the stage, but beyond that, his signature style has influenced countless drummers for decades, from his drum solos to cymbal techniques to his signature grooves and fills. Join us as we dive into the genius of Tommy Lee. To start off, let's look at some of Tommy's signature drum grooves, starting with some that he recorded with Mötley Crüe. This first one is from Sick Love Song. This is the groove that Tommy plays during the intro of the song, where he plays the bell of the ride cymbal, something you hear him do quite often when playing on the ride. One of Tommy's most famous grooves is from the song Kickstart My Heart, where he plays a flam on every backbeat. If you haven't tried this before, it's actually harder than you might think. It's the consistent right hand playing the snare, perfectly spaced flams with the left hand to create that wider backbeat, and of course, anything played by Tommy Lee requires maximum energy. Jumping back to the album Theater of Pain, let's look at what Tommy plays on the song City Boy Blues. This one has some hi-hat barks, cymbal shots, and accents on the china. If you've listened to Tommy's drumming on the Mötley Crüe records from the 80s, you'll know that he loves to use the cowbell. And some great examples are from the tracks Public Enemy No. 1, and also from the first album, one of my personal favorites, Come On and Dance, where Tommy lays down a 4-on-the-floor groove with some triplets played on the cowbell. Another interesting choice Tommy made on a few Mötley Crüe songs was changing from a straight feel to a swing feel, which is something you didn't really hear a lot of hair metal bands do that often. Outside of Mötley Crüe, Tommy has also worked with bands like Methods of Mayhem, Rob Zombie, Post Malone, The Smashing Pumpkins, and a bunch of other bands and artists. Here's a groove in 9/8 that Tommy played on the 2014 song Tiberius by The Smashing Pumpkins.
And that's why I never put a pig in an Uber.
Nice, man. Does anyone have a drum key?
Yeah, I got one.
Thank you, sir. This key broke. Is there something better I can use?
Didn't we just design a brand new drum key? So ergonomic.
Is this brushed pewter?
And it's magnetic. Check it out.
So we've got 5,000 of these brand new Drumeo drum keys that we're giving away completely free. All you need to do is sign up for a 7-day free trial to Drumeo, and we'll send you one of these keys wherever you are in the world with no shipping cost. You're gonna get tons of free lessons, 5,000 song transcriptions, and much more with the Drumeo trial. You don't wanna miss out.
When it comes to Tommy Lee's drumming, one of the things that he's most famous for is how he uses the cymbals. Tommy used cymbal chokes in lots of creative ways, different from what most other rock drummers were doing back in the 80s, other than maybe Alex Van Halen, and we actually have a Genius of episode on Alex that you can check out right here. Tommy also incorporated a lot of hi-hat openings and barks into his grooves and fills. See if you can guess this one. What makes it so cool is that the hi-hat openings shift from being on the beat to off the beat. Now, if you listen to the track Rattlesnake Shake off the same record, you can hear how Tommy inverts the Dr. Feelgood groove just by starting it on beat 3 instead of beat 1. Tommy also used hi-hat openings when he would play 16th note grooves. In the song Wild Side, we can hear him playing hi-hat openings on beats 1 and 3. And here's one example from Primal Scream where you can hear Tommy incorporating a cymbal choke and some hi-hat barks with the left hand while playing on the ride. So before we move on, we actually have all the songs I'm playing throughout this video transcribed inside of Drumeo so you can follow along note for note. And we also have the drumless versions of every song so you can actually become Tommy Lee and play these parts for yourself. So if you want to check those out, you can click the link right below this video. You can head over to drumeo.com and get started with a 7-day free trial. And with that, let's move on and let's check out some of Tommy's insane drum solos and his drumming theatrics.
You know, we had to do something real visual to get people's attention, so I believe we got their attention.
Ah, fuck. I gotta do this every night. What have we done?
Every fan that went to a Mötley Crüe show left talking about one thing, and that was Tommy Lee's drum solo. One of Tommy's main influences when it came to his drum solos was the legendary Tommy Aldridge, who played drums with Ozzy Osbourne, Pat Travers, Whitesnake, and a bunch of other bands.
The showmanship part of his playing, you know, the stick spinning and the ways he, you know, the way he incorporated some cross sort of sticking with the cymbals and cymbal grabs and all that kind of stuff.
Tommy Aldridge on the drum!
Now, a lot of people over the years have criticized Tommy for doing these over-the-top drum solos, but Tommy has some great reasons for why he started doing them in the first place.
I'm watching Tommy Aldridge, who's quite a badass, and I'm watching him just murder shit on the drums. And I see people going to get a beer, going to buy a t-shirt, going to the bathroom. I'm like, what the fuck? It hit me right then. Here's this guy, he's got big, crazy, curly hair, and he's just wailing, but he's behind this wall of drums, and you can't really, at the end of the day, see what he's doing. I gotta figure out a way where people can see what's going on.
So for Tommy Lee, the Theatrics all started on the Theater of Pain tour in 1985.
The first Mötley drum riser was this rig that tilted up this way from your audience perspective, because I wanted to give them basically they'd be looking down, a bird's eye view, of what's really going on. You can see your feet going. You can see what the guy's actually doing.
Yeah. Can you take this any farther? Could you actually play hanging upside down or something? Well,
but it didn't stop at the rotating cage. For the next tour, he decided it was time to fly his drum kit over the audience.
For the current Dr. Feelgood tour, he naturally felt that he had to top himself. And yes, he did.
And through the 2000s, Tommy showed Mötley Crüe fans that he could fly from the stage to risers suspended from the ceiling, where he played on a different set of drums and percussion. Later on, he played the 360 roller coaster drum solo. And of course, we can't forget about the Crucifly. Tommy's drum solos inspired a whole new generation of drummers to take their performance to the next level. And even now, these drum solos are still talked about in the drum community decades later.
The plan was, let's build something so sick that this will probably never, ever be done again. I think we achieved it.
Tommy has said in interviews that some of his favorite drummers are Tommy Aldridge, Alex Van Halen, and Terry Bozzio. But his all-time favorite is John Bonham, a drummer known for his bass drum playing.
The hands-down guy is John Bonham. You know, most people will talk about how heavy his foot was.
When you listen to Tommy's drumming, his bass drum playing definitely stands out. Be it his double bass playing, especially on the earlier 80s records, or his heavy syncopated bass drum grooves. Now, I don't know about you, but I definitely hear a bit of When the Levee Breaks in that drum part. In 2003, when they remastered Theater of Pain, they included a bonus track called Tommy's Drum Piece from Cherokee Studios. Listen to the bass drum work on this one. Jumping ahead to the late 90s, listen to Tommy's bass drum playing on the track Let Us Pray. We can't overlook the fact that double bass playing was a big part of Tommy's drumming on the first few Mötley Crüe records. One of my favorite Tommy Lee double bass grooves is from the intro of Use It or Lose It. In this one, Tommy's playing a syncopated bell pattern on the ride over steady double bass with some cymbal accents played throughout. But Tommy's double bass playing in recent years is quite different from what he was doing back in the 80s. He describes it like this: I definitely use double bass more in the fills and not too much in the beats. I don't really play that much double bass these days. It's mostly used in fills, or maybe occasionally I'll use double bass in a funky beat. Here are some examples that demonstrate what Tommy is describing. And for any of you who have seen Tommy on more recent Mötley Crüe tours, you've probably seen Tommy playing 26 and even 32-inch bass drums, which is just insane. Lastly, let's look at some of Tommy's drum fills that he's played over the years with Mötley Crüe. There's a few ideas and concepts that you can hear Tommy using pretty often across a bunch of different albums, and let's start with his 16th note triplet fills. You can hear Tommy using these types of sweeping drum fills in songs like Save Our Souls during the intro, Red Hot going into the first chorus, and Smoking in the Boys' Room. Tommy will also use 30-second note bursts played as singles in a lot of his drum fills. He uses these bursts in songs like Saints of Los Angeles during the pre-chorus. Home Sweet Home leading into the final chorus. And during the intro of Primal Scream. And to cap things off, let's check out some of Tommy's most famous drum fills from a few different records. All right, there you have it, the genius of Tommy Lee. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into Tommy's drumming and maybe learned something along the way that you didn't know before you started this video. Now, before you go, make sure you leave a comment below and let me know one thing that you've learned from listening to Tommy Lee. And also don't forget that we have all those drumless tracks and full note-for-note Mötley Crüe transcriptions available on Drumeo. There's a link right below this video and you can get started with a 7-day free trial. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.